Hey guys, welcome back to the Jay's Flicks podcast. I'm your host Jaden, and today we're going to be recapping Outer Banks season 4, part 1. Very exciting season so far. I enjoyed it. I've been watching Outer Banks, for the last couple of years now. It released in 2020, but I didn't find it probably till like a few years later. But I've been watching ever since, and first 3 seasons are good. This season so far is pretty good. They split up into 2 parts, following Netflix's model of later of recent shows like Cobra Kai and You and Stranger Things, and Emily in Paris are splitting up this new seasons into 2 parts for some reason. But here we are, and the first five episodes released yesterday on Netflix, and so I'll talk about those a little bit and my overall thoughts. But make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Check us out here on YouTube. We're also on Spotify as well, and follow us on socials on Instagram, JSflix23. I believe it's the account, yeah, and same thing for TikTok, JSflix. So if you have watched Outer Banks for the first 3 seasons, you know that in season 3 they went to go look for the El Dorado, the gold city there, and near towards the middle of the end, they got it. The Pogues got the gold in South America, and of course, John B's dad, Big John, died. Ward Cameron, who was Sarah's father, died as well. But good news for the Pogues was again that they got the money. They got back to Outer Banks, to the island, and they were able to exchange it for money, for cash, and that with that money they wanted to get buy JJ's his dad's old house and use it as their home to all live together in. So far, so the members of the Pogues, catching up to this point in time, you have John B, of course, JJ, Pope, Kiara, and then Sarah, and then also Cleo. Those are the 6 members of the Pogues right now. And they are all back together. Cleo, of course, joined the team last season rather. Last season in season 3, after she met Sarah and John B previously in season 2 in the Bahamas, and then she rejoined the group in season 3, and she's been a Pogue ever since. Just get used to me saying that word a lot. I'm going to be saying that word a lot in this video, so get used to it now. And she joined the group, and she's dating Pope now, and we have Kiara and JJ who hooked up last season, and so they're a couple, and we all know John B and Sarah's story. But the good thing about this season is they don't focus too much on that relationship drama like the previous seasons did. It's not like the love triangle stuff. They're not. The focus is essentially on these group of friends and eventually Blackbeard's treasure. But I'll get to that in a second. After they found the gold, there was 18 months. There's an 18-month time span between after that time that they got back to the Outer Banks, and then up until when a man offered them a proposition to find Blackbeard's treasure for him. So in that 18 months, as John B explains in the first episode, they got a ride back to OBX, and they used the money to get JJ's house. Of course, JJ bid higher than he probably should have on the house. They ended up getting it anyway. He also bet some of their money on the dirt bike race against Rafe and Topper. You guys remember Rafe, right? Rafe Cameron. I'm a proactive person, Rafe. And Topper, who was Sarah's ex-boyfriend now, and who, the kings of the kooks, so to speak, who were the rich people of the island, jerks as well. And so yeah, that's kind of where we're at. I mean, and they build their own surf shop and stuff. It's kind of cool just seeing them trying to live a normal life. And the first episode was pretty chill, good, like laid back vibes. I was really getting season 1 vibes, from the first few episodes of this new season. Here, just focusing on them, just Pogues having fun, chilling, having a good time, and also keeping their eyes peeled for treasure and that type of stuff. I was reminiscing back to the first season there. But eventually things start to ramp up because they need the money, they end up taking the guy's offer, whose name is Wes Generate, and he lives on the island, a part of the island that is known to be, it's been there for hundreds of years, and it's said to be cursed, and he needs them to find this amulet of Blackbeard's to lift the curse off of his family. And that's what he hires John B and his crew to do. And so that's what we get for the next couple episodes, is them trying to look for this treasure, but they're not the only ones. There's another guy who's out there. He's shady, and he's willing to kill for it too. So it adds to the high stakes adventures that we're used to seeing in Outer Banks, and I loved it. I love the character arc so far. Like you see how everybody is kind of continued to grow. Pope is now more outspoken as a leader of the group, as opposed to being the guy who, yeah, he chimed in every now and then, but mostly following John. It's feel like John B and Pope are the set two leaders of the Pogues right now, and it seems like Pope is really stepped into that role, and he's relished it. And he's the one who's trying to keep everybody together and trying to, be smart with how they manage the money, particularly JJ. But I feel like this season is focusing on JJ a lot. Like this is going to be JJ's season because it's JJ's making a lot of reckless decisions, but we know that's his character. We know that's how he is. And we also get a revelation of his background later on in the 5th episode, but I'm not going to reveal too much about that because you guys have to go watch it to understand. But we get a huge shock about JJ Maybank here, and his family, and that's something interesting there. So I love how they're focusing the season on him right now, and it's really cool to see. And so, I mean, overall, that's pretty good. Like I say, the writing, the pacing is doing as well. They're able to jump between the different, character arcs so far, like pretty efficiently, like, between the different Pogues. And then we have Rafe, right? We have Rafe Cameron. Rafe is back on OBX. He lost his father. He's still trying to grieve from that. He's feeling the remorse of his actions that he's made, especially trying to drown Sarah and shooting at Sarah, and all the bad things he's done. Heck, he killed Sheriff Peterkin, something that he never really got punished for. So I'm interested to see how that's gonna. Will they eventually punish him there for it at some point, or will he just continue to live scot free, or will he die? There's a lot of theories circulating around that one of the main characters of Outer Banks is going to die in the 4th season. A lot of people think it's going to be Rafe, and it's an interesting theory. I can see it if he's either like if John B and the group are against somebody else or they're in fighting somebody else and Rafe comes in and sacrifices himself. That's something I can see him doing as far as killing them off, or he might, through suicide, he might take his own life because he's just not happy with the person that he had become. And it's really, really intriguing to see how they're so far how they're addressing that, and how they're addressing Rafe as a person, as a character, and his girlfriend Sophia. But all that to say, this season I really like it so far. I hate they split into 2 parts because I'm one of those people, like I love to watch shows like in their entirety. So I'm like one of those people, like I want them to release all 10 episodes once, but so be it. They split up into 2 parts, and so I guess it's supposed to create suspense between the first part and then the next part, but we'll see how that goes. But overall, I like it. Like I said, I like all the character dynamics. Everybody seems closer than they have before. I like how they're like the newer additions. Like Sarah, who has been a Pogue really since season 1, but she still felt new to the Pogue. Some like throughout, maybe all the way up until the 3rd season, she feels like an official Pogue now. She even looks like one as far as how she's wearing her hair, all that type of stuff. Like she's rocking that whole look. As far as being a Pogue, right? Just not just being carefree with everything. Not not the kook stuff. Cleo is like also she seems like she is now belonging to this family. To everybody, to the group, and they welcome her as well, and that's a cool thing to see. So I'm excited to see all the cast back here, and it's a really good cast, and they did a great job of picking the people to play these characters, and season 4 is no different. Of course, the ending leaves me with a lot of questions, more than answers. But I'm not going to again dive into that because I don't want to be just a spoiled machine retelling the whole season because it's like, well, why would I watch it? I know what happens. Like, why would I watch it, right? So I want you guys to watch it, and then I'll make a video once the next part drops, and then of all the 10 episodes, I'll make a review of the season as a whole. Then, because it's kind of hard when we only have 5 episodes to go off of because things can change. So it's hard to really establish a big opinion, so to speak, a big critique on a season like that of a show when it's split up. But so far, the first five episodes are really good. I give it 8 out of 10. Like I really like everything I've seen, and it's really cool. So I encourage you guys to go watch Outer Banks if you have not already. So just this first 3 seasons are streaming, as well as the first 5 episodes of season 4. So you got time. I mean, the next 5 episodes don't come out until November 7th. So I would highly encourage you guys to go watch Outer Banks right now on Netflix. And let me know what you think here in the comments below. Do you agree? Do you like? If those of you who have watched it, do you like it? What do you think they could have done differently? Let me know what you think in the comments. We'll see you next time on Jay's Flicks.